Hey everyone, welcome back to At the Coffee Table podcast. I am Jason Klink here with my co-host Bob Kahn, and this is
Howdy.
howdy. This is episode 91 of At the Coffee Table, nine
Woo.
away from 100, cruising right along. Please, drop your comments, ask us questions. Today's podcast episode is on mindset, and this is an idea that Bob brought to the table and has some really great stuff. So, Bob, take her away.
Okay, today, where's my little piece of paper? I lost it. I don't know what. Anyway, it's about what is blocking you from the success you desire may just be the path to success. Makes absolutely no sense. Except, I want to start by telling you a story I heard today. It's about a man named George. Back around 1945, 46, after World War II, George and his wife immigrated to the United States. They were dirt poor, dirt
Mm,
poor. They found a little apartment 45 minutes out of the city. And when they got a little bit settled, George found that there was a job opening at a Baptist church. So he took whatever money he had, took the bus 45 minutes into the city, went to the church, met with the pastor. The pastor loved him. And then the pastor said, hand him a bunch of paper and, sign it. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, but even back in England, I can't read or write. And the pastor goes, well, I'm sorry, but I can't hire you. I'd love to, but I can't hire you. You're a great guy, but sometimes I'm not here. I'm going to have to leave notes. And if you can't read them, well, so obviously George was not thrilled.
hmm
Well, before he left, George's wife packed a sandwich and two apples, thinking that maybe he would work today so we would have lunch.
hmm
Well, George is now down at the mouth. He's just feeling really bad. And he happens to be standing on the corner of the city and he takes out an apple. And as he's taking out an apple, a man comes up and goes, hey, how much you want for the apple? And he went, 5 cents. Took out the second apple, showed it around as if he was offering it. Somebody came up and said, well, how much you want for the apple? He said, 5 cents. All of a sudden, the light went off in his head. He couldn't wait to get home because they happened to be renting a house in a farmhouse and an apple farm. And this is 3 weeks into the apple season, and there's apples all on the ground. So he finds the owner, the farmer, and said, would you mind if I picked up all the apples on the ground and sold them and gave you a small amount of the profit? And the farmer goes, no way. I usually have to pay people to pick them up or they just rot on the ground. So the next day, with bushels of apples, he stands on the same corner. Now, if he did it today, he'd probably get a ticket or arrested. But back then, there wasn't any licenses needed.
Right.
And he sold them all out. And he did it again the next day and did it again. He got so good that he built a second, third, fourth, fifth, second produce stands. Now, once the apples season was gone, he started selling all other produce. Now, over time, since he couldn't read or write, he didn't trust banks. So all the profit he made, he put in his basement. So
Mm.
one day his wife says, George, I'm getting a little worried here. People know we're doing really well and the money's in the basement. I think it's time we go talk to a bank. Okay. So they go to the bank the next day. He explains to them what had happened and and says to the banker, I've never been to a bank. I don't know if I could trust you. The guy goes, trust me. Well, they had two duffel bags of money and they dumped it on the guy's desk, his eyes open wide. It was $647,000, which would be multi millions today. Well, obviously the banker's eyes went, wow. He goes, you can trust me, trust me.
Right.
And he goes, how did you possibly accumulate so much money? So he told him the whole story. And he goes, so what if that didn't happen and you could read and write? And George goes, I'd be working in a Baptist church as a janitor. So the point is, sometimes what looks bad in blocking your way you can use it as an opportunity to move forward. I really thought that was great. Now, it's all about mindset, isn't it?
For sure.
You know, change your mindset, believe that you can do it, and take action, and it will get done. You know, I've been practicing transformation. I'm not going to say how many years, but I used to take the subway into Manhattan, and I haven't taken it in 40 years. So you could see it's been a while. But over the last year, I've been working with two people, Natalie Ledwell of Mind Movies and Mary Morrissey of Brave Thinkers Mastery.
Hmm.
And I've learned a lot. I have courage now. I have gotten past a whole bunch of limiting beliefs. That doesn't mean they're all gone because we have so many of them,
Right.
lucky. But recently I took on building an online business in the digital marketing world, and it's happening. I never thought it would happen. The whole time I was going through the initial training, I go, this is BS.
Hmm.
But you know what? It's happening. Believe it. If you believe in what you want to do, you have a dream. You see it vividly in your mind. You can even see yourself in that dream. Well, everything in the world that's there, whether it's this marker or the old iPhone, started out as an image, a dream in somebody's head.
For sure.
And by believing in it, looking at it, and constantly looking at it and believing in it and taking action towards it, well, there's the proof. So if you're having issues, there's a lot of people who are fortunate that they were born into money, or they were born with that wonderful mindset with very few limiting beliefs about money, about anything. And during COVID, especially, they made a bloody fortune.
Yep.
We all know real estate agents that since 2019 have made a killing in real estate.
Yeah.
They did it by hard work for sure.
Yep.
But if they didn't believe that they can do it innately or come by it by practicing mindset transformation, they wouldn't be there.
It's funny that we had this topic today because, and I've talked about mindset stuff over and over, but I, I always get I always get a kick out of people saying, "Well, I have to wait till I'm lucky enough," or "That person was super lucky." Just had this texting conversation yesterday with a friend of mine. I just gotta, my, I just gotta wait for my luck to change. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no. I said you have to wait for the right opportunity to present itself. It has nothing to do with luck, and it's one of those things where you can go through life and live in a tunnel and you just do you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do you? But if you're really looking to make a change, if you're looking to um, really accomplish something great, and we've said it before, we were put on this earth to accomplish great things.
Right.
That if you don't have the mindset to do that, and it's hard not to have a negative mindset, especially now. It's hard not to have negative inner conversations. I think we all do that. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a much more enjoyable life and fulfilling and satisfying life if you have the proper mindset that allows you to build on your successes day in and day out.
Absolutely. One thing I learned is there's four quadrants of your life: health and fitness, financial, financial, vocation, actually loving what you do, and relationships. And if you're having problems in any of those areas, you can work on them.
Yep.
I have little, you can't see obviously because the camera's pointing this way, but all around me, I have these little notes. And I heard that, I do affirmations every day. The one big thing that I didn't come by naturally is feeling grateful. Not only do I feel grateful, but now I write it down
Hmm.
every single day. Morning, write it down. And some of the notes, just to give you an idea, one says, no one's coming to save me. It's up to me. Another one is, this is my day. I have what it takes. Here I go again. I'm having fun today. We were meant for much greater things.
Yes.
You'll never convince me that that we live to 70, 80, 90 years old in dire straits. Whether you call that there's a superior being, whether you call it the universe, the infinite one, God, it's all the same idea that
Yep.
has every bit of information ever. That there's nothing they or it does not know. We are built to communicate, to be able to communicate with the universe, infinite one, God. I'll give you a quick story. My friend Danielle, I've mentioned her before. She was on the verge of a divorce. She had filed, and then for some reason, she and her husband went to church. They hadn't been to church in who knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
Something that was said that day instantly changed everything. They fell back in love, and the rest, as they say, is history. In her work, she was doing well. She was doing okay. But after that, she exploded to be one of the top agents in the area, and it just comes to her easily now. She
Mm-hmm.
had to work her butt off.
Right.
So again, whether it's God, you believe in Jesus, fantastic. If you're Jewish, you believe in all the teachings of the Jewish tradition. Whether you're a Muslim, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same thought process. If you learn how to open your mind and ask a question and listen for an answer, it will come. May not be the answer you're looking for, but it will come. Try this. Every morning, just before you open your eyes, say, thank you, thank you, thank you for this fantastic day. It's a brand new day, a unique day. It will never come again. What can I do from where I am with what I have to, and then whatever you want to say? Do it every single day. And then at night, repeat it just before you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that a lot of very silly wealthy people, I take that back, just wealthy people, they do affirmations every single day. They write
Yeah.
down, they're so grateful. Now,
Yep.
I don't know if the people who inherited the money, I'm talking about self made people,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how much money they started with. We all, it's funny how, well, yeah, he started out, his parents were rich. Yeah.
Oh,
How
yeah.
many rich people's kids have we found are now poor?
Right.
It
Right.
takes work. It takes work.
It does, and you know, if you look at some of the wealthier people, not even like Bill Gates or Elon Musk or not any of them, but some of the folks that really built their own enterprise and built their own dynasty realistically and created their own legacy. Guys like Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and Tom Bilyeu and some of the other ones. They started out realistically with very little,
Right.
and they had to learn and take their knocks. And now they're freely giving away the information and freely giving away how much mindset and
Mhm.
having a true belief in what they were doing because it went to a greater cause. It went to a higher cause.
Right.
A guy like Andy Frisella and his brother Sal, they created a supplement company. It's a nutrition company, and started out with one store or two stores, but they had a higher vision. They had a higher calling to help improve lives through health and fitness. And
Yep.
they've taken such a personal interest in their business. Like if you go online and order a nutritional supplement from First Form, you get a handwritten card from the guy that or girl that packed it. Thank
That's
you for
cool.
doing business with us. Please
Yeah.
just let us know if we can improve on the service that you've received. And there's a lot that goes to that. You don't get a lot of those handwritten cards, right? And that's one thing I ingrained in my real estate business. If I have a buyer that closes on a transaction, I truly am grateful for the opportunity to have done business with them and to be able to help them out through that process. So I'll leave them a handwritten card with the
Right.
buyer's gift at the time of closing because it means that
Yeah.
much to me to take that time to write that out.
It's all about My screen's flickering again. It's all about giving. You give to get.
Mm-hmm.
Zig Ziglar is famous for saying, you help other people, enough people, get what they want, you'll get what you want probably 10 times greater.
Yep.
And my whole life, until I finally realized that, I didn't realize it for a long time, was about giving. I always loved giving more than receiving. Not that I dislike receiving. I don't want you to get that
It's always
impression,
fun too.
but I just enjoy giving better. My
Yeah.
real estate career was all about clients first. This business that I'm building now online, by the way, it's called Bob's Recommendations, and it's www.bobsrecommendations.com. Figure might as well throw in a commercial.
Cheap plug. Cheap plug.
Yeah, right. Anyway, it's if you think about it, many of the folks who made a fortune did it by serving others.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, Bill Gates. No, Bill Gates built MS-DOS, and MS-DOS created the ability to have a personal computer. And anybody that has a laptop today or an iMac or whatever, thank you, Mr. Gates.
Right.
Yes, he got rewarded for it. Whether you like Tesla or not, thank you. Um, Elon Musk had an idea, and it created a whole industry.
Yep.
People had talked about it; they had him before, but now it took hold. So, if your mindset is your pocket first, you're never going to get rich.
No.
You can't catch money; it has to hit you in the butt.
Yeah.
And the only way you do that is forget about what the bottom line is. Don't get hung up on the results of what you do. Just enjoy doing it. The rest will change. There's an old saying, change the way you look at things, and what you look at will change.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
talking to you again.
What's I was just thinking about too is I did my own piece of content today about hostile environments, both personally and
I
professionally.
saw that, yes.
Right. And that has a lot to do with mindset too. And I was, again, conversation, former colleague, and they have right now really, in my eyes, is a hostile environment.
Oof.
And but because it's the only thing my colleagues know is they just go and do their work and they deal with a hostile environment, and because they think they can't do anything else. They think there's no other opportunity. They think that
Yeah.
they're never going to get enough benefits like they do working a government job, so on and so on. And I went down that road. I was one of them, and I also
Yeah.
had a long period of negativity and dealing with a hostile environment, a couple of them, and nothing will tear you down more mentally than being in those environments. But here's the thing: either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. So if you don't participate in being part of the solution, you're just aggravating the problem. And if you can't be one or the other, it's time to get the hell out and
Yeah.
create a better environment and be in a better environment. I've seen it with some, these companies that I've worked for. What started out as, and not my current company, a different one. What started as a pretty phenomenal culture, a phenomenal environment, quickly became very uncomfortable and not conducive to having a good culture because
Why was that? What caused it?
money. Money went first.
Aha.
Money went first instead of providing the best quality possible. And that will happen every time. If you're a focus, and I just had this reminder from my own business coach, if you're focused too much on production goals and money goals, and you're never going to hit them. And you might not hit them anyway, but you're really not going to hit them if that's all you're focusing on. But if you change your mindset and you start focusing on bringing quality and changing lives and
Touche.
making things better, the
Yeah.
other stuff will follow along.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's another thing that is rarely talked about these days. Gee, I wonder why. Integrity and
Oh,
authenticity.
how dare you say those
People
dirty
know.
words?
People know it when you're not being authentic. People
Yes.
know it when you're not being, you have no integrity. I'll give you, for instance, I took a break from real estate 20 years ago. Didn't last long. It's because it's addictive. Anyway, I went to work with this guy that seemed like a normal person. It was supposedly a job placement company, I think. I don't remember all the details. And they had a nice script, and I liked it because it just reeked of helping people.
Yep.
Well, one day, and I was doing pretty good at it. I was pretty well. I was getting a nice salary plus commission. One day, um, I had a couple in my office, and I told them it really didn't fit what they were looking for. Well, apparently the boss heard this and comes racing down the hall into my office and goes, I don't give a good goddamn what you do. You lie, cheat, steal, you sell this product. He took, and I just went, what?
Ah,
What the? I said, take your job and stick it up your where the
yep.
sun doesn't shine. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're going to take my integrity and my authenticity and just so you could make money? I quit right then and there. Well, you can imagine when I got home, well, once I explained it to my wife, she didn't like the fact that the money stopped, but she certainly understood why.
Yeah.
And you do not have to stay where you're not welcome or comfortable.
For sure.
You have the right to be happy. You have the right to be successful. You have the right to a great relationship and great health.
Yep.
And something that seems to be forgotten these days in the United States of America. But I will tell you, you do have that right. Lean into the infinite one, lean into the universal God, whatever you believe, and listen. It may take a couple of hours, a couple of days, but you will get a result if you ask the question. Ask better questions like how and what, and not why. Well, you'll get better answers. I am so thrilled with the year I've had with those two ladies that if you never heard of Natalie Ledwell in my movies, look it up. If you've ever never heard of Mary Morrissey, look it up. I'm sure you've heard of Bob Proctor, the late great Bob Proctor.
Hmm.
She was very close with him and quotes him a lot in her business. And you have every right to succeed. You have every right to be happy.
For sure.
But happiness is not an outside thing, it's an inside thing.
Yes.
You don't be happy when you were happy then.
You know, I,
I feel like I'm just throwing out cliches.
but every time, it makes me think. I don't know. I've told my kids, I've told other people, if you don't have your character, morals, and values set, you have nothing. If you don't stick by character, morals, and values, anything you say isn't worth the wind that came out of your mouth. And the worst thing that we can do as professionals, even personally, is to bend and break our character, morals, and values based on someone else or a situation. And like you said, with that job you were talking about wanted you to break your morals and your values to conform to what they wanted you to have for morals and values. Um,
Oh,
it
by the
speaks
way,
a
he
lot of
ended up in jail.
yeah. It speaks a lot about a person when they stick to their convictions and they stick to their morals and values. Um, and like kind people want to work with like kind people. Like kind people want to associate with like kind people. And
True.
if people know you as a good person, a kind person, a helpful person, a faithful person, a gracious person, they're going to gravitate towards you. If
I
people see
agree. I
you,
agree. I
you
agree.
know,
Um, we were joking about my TikTok account has a. I actually got two new people to like me today on TikTok, but it's a start. And the thing is, I believe in what I say. I have my thing like you have yours called Life Thoughts every day,
Hmm.
and it's posted everywhere you can post it, including LinkedIn. Why I don't know, but I do. And I mean everything I say, and I believe in everything I say,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that it comes across. I truly want to help people. I truly want people who are not doing well to do well physically, mentally, financially,
Yep.
vocationally.
Yep.
And that's why we don't do commercials here, but that's why I recommend people like Mary and Natalie, or a coach,
Yes.
or therapy. I mean,
Yes.
therapy has always had, for some reason,
Hmm.
therapy has always had a stigma to it.
It did.
And yet there are millions of people in this country and around the world that see a therapist,
Yep.
because sometimes you can't do it yourself.
A
You get
100%.
stuck.
Yep.
You get stuck.
And I've told this story before in other podcast episodes. After my divorce and where I was in the world, I was down in a hole I wasn't getting out of it by myself. And the best thing I did was went and got help to be able to get the tools to dig out of that hole. Um,
Yeah.
best thing ever did. Best thing ever did. The ability to talk to someone and get the mess out of your head and to get a professional insight and get like I said, the tool set to be able to manage each and every day.
Right.
Because this world can get overwhelming. There's no doubt about it. Fear and anxiety and depression. This world can get very, very overwhelming. I've seen friends that were in the same place. They were just in a bad, bad spot, and all you can do is encourage them. Go get some help. Go talk to someone.
Yeah.
Um, Especially the
Uh,
business I came from. So there's no shame in therapy
None
at all.
whatsoever. We're taught not to ask for help. Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elementary school, sit down, shut up, be
Yep.
quiet.
Yep.
In high school, middle school, why aren't you raising your hand and talking?
Yep.
But I'm reminded of a period in my life when, you know what agoraphobia is?
Yes.
Okay, for those who don't, fear of going outside and integrate
Yep.
and intermingling with people.
Yep.
There was a good year or two where I went to work, came home, never left my apartment from the time I got there to the next morning or an entire weekend. Well, finally, I had enough. I said, I think I need help. So I found a therapist. And the way, this is going to sound wacky, but the way I knew that I was on the road to healing was I took myself to the movies by myself.
There you go.
True story. True story. And for those of you who are suffering, get some help.
Yep. Yeah.
You don't have to
Sure.
tell everybody.
Yep. Your mindset's too precious not to get the help, and your mindset's too precious not to succeed and not to do great things. And that's really as easy as it is, even though it can be difficult.
Sure. I mean, we've all read books and stories and watched movies where somebody born in dire poverty raises themselves up and become very, very wealthy. And the ones that stay there share their wealth. One
Yeah.
of the things that I love doing, like I said, is giving. And I support certain charities right now with what I can afford. And I look forward to giving more and more and more and adding more charities. I think you and I had a discussion about that.
Yep.
I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, but one of the things I'd love to do is I've always wanted to move to Florida. God knows why, but and let's say I lived in a small town near Tampa. The first thing I would do if I had the kind of money I'm talking about is go to the town council, the mayor, and say, "How can I help?
Yeah.
What do you need?"
Yep.
And whether it's a new ball field, whether it's a rec center, whether it's scholarships for college for those deserving and who want to go,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not because I want to see my name across it. In fact, I'd rather not.
Right.
You know, I think that the ones that really enjoy giving don't care if their name is attached to it. Like the
Yep.
story I told you about Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Frank Sinatra gave away millions to charities, but under one proviso, never mention that it's me.
Oh, nice.
But in his case, because he didn't want his tough guy attitude to be taken
Yeah,
away.
yeah. That's fantastic.
You know,
Well, well, I think that we could probably go on about different forms or fashion of mindset, and like you said, there's thousands of books written on it, thousands of podcasts. It's finding the one that's right for you. Find the
right.
information source that's right for you, that feeds into the mindset that you're looking to achieve. Um, and I'd be interested for anybody that's watching this later or hearing it now is, what have you come across that's helped your mindset and fixed your mindset and helped something you actually saw, results from.
Well, I tell you, there's one book for sure, Think and Grow Rich
Like
by
a go rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Yep. Yep.
That's the granddaddy of them all that we
Yeah.
know of. But there's been books written from 100 years before.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean this is a subject, never end subject, and I'm sure we'll come back to it at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I just wish everybody out there give themselves the opportunity to change, to grow,
Yeah.
and become everything. I hate to sound like the army, everything that you can. Believe in yourself, believe that there's a higher power, whatever you
Yep.
want to call it,
Yep.
and allow them into your life because you're a lot stronger, a lot smarter, and have more to you than even you know or will ever know, no matter how much study you do.
If you don't believe in something, you believe in nothing, and that's a pretty empty feeling.
Good point.
And I think that's a good place to end.
Well, alrighty then.
Listen, everyone, please like and comment, share it with anybody you think might get some value out of our topic today. It's a great topic. And I'm glad Bob brought it to the table. But I'd like to hear what you guys think about mindset, positive or negative. And really, the only way we're going to grow this community of ours is to have this interaction and have these conversations. So feel free to connect with Bob and I. We're all over social media. Instagram's the best one. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. Send us a DM, if you don't want to drop comments on posts. But each and every week we do these podcasts, and we hope to bring a little value to your life and maybe a laugh or two.
Yes.
So with that, Bob, I leave it to you.
As always, be nice. I'll add one. Be good to yourself.
Oh,
Be
yes.
safe and laugh a lot. Life is supposed to be fun.
100%.
See you next time.
Outstanding. Guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a great day.